This is Adobe InDesign Chapter 4, and we're working with frames. The first part is we're going to complete page 438 to page 445. So go ahead and turn to page 438 in your book so you can see those nice visual examples. And you need to open up 4/6. So go ahead and click on that. It'll go to your downloads. Open it up, and we're going to save it to either your Google Drive or your H Drive. So you can see I have it saved as flowers in my Chapter 4 for Adobe InDesign. So step 2 says on the Layers panel, click the empty square next to the text. So we need to make sure we open up our Layers panel, and then click the empty square next to the text layer to lock that layer. Put a little lock sign right there. And then number 3, click the background layer to target it. Click the rectangle frame tool. Then draw a graphics frame in the center of the page that is approximately the size as shown in figure 69. So I've got my text. I'm going to go ahead and click and drag a frame right here. Click File on the menu bar. Click Place. And before we do this, we're going to have to back up just for a second. And we have to go back to our InDesign files. And you are going to download Windmills Ghost PSD, which is down here. So make sure you do the right one. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And now it should be in our Downloads folder. So now we're able to place the document. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. I still have this selected, so we're going to go back to File, Place, and in your Downloads folder, which you can see right here, I'm in my Downloads folder. We should be able to find the folder called Windmill Ghost. All right. Now we're going to click the selection tool. Click anywhere to deselect the frame. Click the eye icon on the background layer to hide it. Then click the image layer to target that layer. Click File on the menu bar. And then we're going to place a different image, so we need to go over to our canvas once again. So now we need to find the folder called Windmills Color PSD. So Windmills Color. So I'm going to go ahead and click that so it goes to our Downloads folder. Minimize here. Alright, so we're going to go back to File and then Place. We're going to go to our Downloads, and then we scroll down until we see the Windmills Color. So go ahead and click that and hit Open, and you can see our cursor is loaded. So position the pointer over the document. The pointer changes to a loaded graphic icon and shows the thumbnail of the graphic. Click the loaded graphics icon on the F of the words flower. As shown in figure 71, the graphics is placed in a new graphics frame whose top left corner is located where the loaded graphics icon was clicked. Hide the image layer. Click the selection tool. Then click the Windmill Ghost graphic. So we need to show it again. I think that was in our background. Okay. So now we're going to click the top left corner in the transform panel. So let's go ahead and open up our transform panel. So we're going to go to Window, Object Layout, and then click on the Transform panel. Here's our Transform panel. I'll move it over here so we can see it. And we're going to click the top left reference point. Okay, so now we're going to click our Direct Selection tool. Position the tool over the graphic. Then click the graphic. Moving on, we're on the top of page 4/40. Note the width and the height of the graphic as listed on the Transform panel. There's your width and there's your height. Press and hold the hand icon on the graphic until the hand changes to a black arrow. Then drag inside the graphic, releasing the mouse button when the windmill is centered. So I'm going to hold, and then I'm going to drag until it's centered, and it looks like it is. Oh, I see. So we're going to move our graphic over until it's kind of centered. And I'm actually looking at the blue line that shows us where the graphic actually is. And you can see in the top left corner of the document, see that blue line? I'm going to center it right here. Okay. So now we're going to click on our selection tool, number 6, and then we're going to go back and click our graphic. Let's deselect first. Okay, so click on your selection tool, click on the graphic, click the top left selection handle of the graphics frame so that it's aligned with the top left corner of our document. So we're going to make our graphics frame really big. As shown in figure 73, the graphic within the frame does not change size or location. So drag the bottom right corner of the graphic frame so that it's aligned with the bottom right corner of your document. So here we go. We're going to take this and drag it down. And let go. Click your Direct Selection tool. Click the graphic. Type 0 in the X plus text box, which it already is. On the Transform panel, type 0 in the Y plus, and then press Enter. So now we're going to drag the background below the text layer, then show the image layer, and then you want to target that image layer by going ahead and clicking on it. And then press A to access the Direct Selection tool, which we already have accessed. I'm going to go ahead and deselect. Then click the windmill. Verify that the Constrain Proportions for Scaling option is activated in the Transform panel. So this should be clicked. Type 50 in the Scale X percentage. So if we hover over these different options, let's see here, I'm going to hover over, here we go. This is the Scale X percentage. So we're going to highlight this and type 50 in the Scale X percentage text box on the Transform panel, and then hit Enter on your keyboard. Beautiful. Press V to access the regular selection tool. You can see that I pressed V on my keyboard. And then click the windmill color graphic in the layout. Alright, I just want to make sure that everything is selected okay. So before I do that, I'm going to deselect by clicking out here and then reselect with my selection tool. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to Object on the menu bar and point to Fitting. and then choose Fit Frame to Content. Okay, good. Step 7, we're going to click the top left reference point if it's not already selected on the Transform panel. With the frame still selected, type 4.5 in the X location. Let's make sure it's selected. If you have a blue line that looks like this when you take your cursor off of your image, that means your frame is not selected. So we need to make sure that frame is selected. I'm going to click on the selection tool and then deselect by clicking out here, and then go back and reselect. Now I've got a red frame that's selected, and my X and Y numbers, I can see that they're no longer 0. So if it's no longer 0, you know that you have everything. The frame is actually what is selected, the frame of the image. With the frame of the image selected, we're going to type 4.5 in the X value, type 3 in the Y. Type 3.25 in the width. Oh, sorry, 3.32. Type 2.125 in the height. And then hit enter. Press A to access the direct selection tool. Click the graphic. Then note the scale X percentage and scale Y percentage text box on the Transform panel. So they're back to 0. This is back to 50%. The graphic retains its 50% scale. Click Object. On the menu bar, point to Fitting. And then click Fit Content Proportionally. We're going to deselect by clicking over here in our scratch area. Press V to access the selection tool. Click the graphic. Click Object on the menu bar. Point to Fitting. Then click Fit Frame to Content. And then deselect all. We're on page 443 at the very top. So verify that the selection tool is selected and then click the graphic. Let's deselect first and then go back and click the graphic. Then click the Wraparound Bounding box on the Text Wrap panel. So let's go ahead and minimize this. And we'll see if our text wrap is up. It's not up. So let's go to Windows and Text Wrap to bring that open. And we're going to click on our Wraparound option, which is here. Let's hover and make sure it is. Wraparound Bounding box. Verify that the Make All Settings, the same button, is active. So this right here needs to be active. Okay. Type 0.125 in the top offset text box. So let's hover and make sure we're at the right spot. Okay. 0.125. And then hit enter. Deselect everything. And then navigate to the drive folder where your data files are stored, and then double click the Windmill Silhouette PSD. So let's go to our Canvas page. And we need to go to the document called Windmill Silhouette PSD. can see it's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize our canvas. We'll go to File and then Place. And here we should look for our Windmill Silhouette PSD. I've double clicked it. Click the loaded graphics icon on the F in the word flower. Click the wraparound object shape button. We'll hover, wraparound bounding box, wraparound object shape. So this is what we want to click. Then click the type list arrow. Okay, so here's your type. We're going to click on here and then Photoshop Path. The note Path 1 is automatically listed in the path text. Type 0.14 in the top offset text box. Make sure that says top offset. So we're going to highlight that and then type 0.14. Then press enter. Okay, continuing on, we're almost finished with this project. We're going to deselect and then click on our selection tool. Then click the graphic to verify that the frame, not the graphic within the frame, is selected. Type 1.25 in the X location text box on the transform panel. So we need to go back to that X location, and you're actually going to type negative 1.25. Type 3.8 in the Y location. And then hit enter. As shown in figure 80, because the shape of the path around the graphic, a couple of words appear in an odd position near the graphic down here. In the wrap options selection, click wrap to list arrow. Click right side. And that got rid of that problem. Then deselect the graphic. Top of page 445, click your selection tool. Click the graphic. So now we need to, I've moved things around, I've used my bars and moved things around a little bit so you guys can see that. The next step is to drag the left middle handle of the bounding box to the right so that it abuts to the left edge of the paper. So I'm going to click that and drag it over to the left edge of the paper. Then you're going to drag the bottom middle handle of the bounding box up so that it abuts to the bottom of the page. Click that and drag it up. Then you're going to click the pasteboard to deselect everything. Press Shift W so you can see your image full screen. And then we can go ahead and hit escape so you can see it back to what it looks like as a working document. We're going to save our work. All finished.